Hello everyone, so Citrine is our newest supported Warframe in the game, and I do have to say, she is extremely good at it and extremely good at surviving one of the toughest situations in Warframe. So without any more delays, let's get straight into the Warframe and how to get her. Well, first of all, in the new update, Mirror's Defense is the newest game mode added in Warframe, and here you can get Citrine Sports alongside her weapons, and if you're not lucky enough you can go to OTAC and purchase them through there. Now, quickly going to the passive, Geoluminescence grants her and her allies within affinity range a base recovery rate of 5 health per second. Every time you pick up a health orb, this increases permanently by 0.1 up to a max of 25 health per second. So, first ability, Fractured Blast. Slash and stagger enemies with a crystal blast that she basically, I guess in basic terms, she picks up glass inside of her pockets, or I guess crystals, and then throws it at the enemy, does impact and slash damage, and increases the drop chance of health and energy orbs. Now, Preserving Shell. Her second ability gives you a maximum amount of 90% damage reduction and your allies, depending of course on your power strength, within of course affinity range. This does decay after a certain time, but to keep it up you need to get assists and kills. So pretty goddamn good. Prismatic Gem, her third ability, applies all 4 of the base status effects, so heat, cold, toxin and electricity. Now this is really good. Of course, this turns, I guess, or makes a circle around the gem. It does fire 1 at a time, but it does have infinite punch through and, of course, beam length. And one thing to keep in mind, you first have to attack the enemies with your abilities and, of course, with your weapons. Of course, this does apply to your allies as well for the beam to actually start attacking. And her fourth ability, Crystallize. Crystallize summons crystals that go through the ground like slithery little worms, attack the enemy, attach themselves, and then basically make crystallized growths on the enemy, which you shoot for increased critical chance and critical damage, of course by 300% critical chance and 4.0 critical multiplier, which cannot be increased. So those are the Warframe's abilities. This Warframe can survive a lot through her second and first ability. I do have to say, I do have shield gating on both of my builds in today's video, and I do have to say, I think I didn't utilize it once throughout my gameplay in Steel Path. So without any further delays, the first build is the Archon Build. Now, this Archon build focuses on the Archon mods themselves. We have, of course, Brief Respite, Rolling Guard, Primed Sure-Footed just in case, Augur Reach, Primed Flow, Umbral Intensify, Equilibrium for extra energy and health when picking up, and of course Archon Vitality for double the heat, Stretch for, of course, energy reduction, or I guess energy increase over time, and of course Archon Continuity for when I apply Toxin, I actually get even corrosive, so that's pretty good, and Arcane Rage, and of course Molt Augmented for the aura slots. This is a build that I recommend that a lot of you guys that do like her third ability and think it is good and want to use it, for example, even as a primer for condition overload melee weapons, this is quite good because you're gonna get all 4 of the base elements, which is amazing. You're gonna get corrosive as well, double the heat, which is of course really good damage reduction or actually armor reduction on the enemies, and this is sort of good with the infinite beam length and punch through, but if it were to shoot more enemies, her third ability would be goddamn good. Of course, the weapon is the Flux Rifle. I'm focusing on critical chance, critical damage, of course damage itself, and of course focusing on viral and heat. Now, the second build is something that I quite like, and I use this build, and I think a lot of you guys can use this build till endgame. This is the Nourish Citrine with Nourish instead of her third ability, because in my opinion, her third ability is a little bit lackluster. If it shooted more enemies, it would have been better, but Nourish, oh my god, is Nourish good on her. First of all, from energy sources, you get much more energy, and you get viral damage on your weapons. How can you not like that? With this, combined with the Phantasma Prime made for crit damage and crit chance, which is on the screen right now, you will be melting everything. Keep in mind, I don't know if I mentioned this, I probably left it, but AoE weapons do not work on Crystallize, so that is one thing that you have to keep in mind. But this build, the second one, can be, I think, and I'm like 90% sure, can be going into long endurance runs. Nourish, first ability, of course, giving you extra health and giving you extra energy, and of course Equilibrium, you are never going to run out of anything. And you have 90% damage reduction, which you're always going to keep up because your weapons are going to destroy enemies. And if you put on health conversion, instead of health orbs, you get 450 armor that stacks up to 3 times. She can be tough as a freaking diamond, and if not tougher. This Warframe is incredibly good. The 3 other abilities that you can subsume onto this Warframe are going to be Zonta's Whisper, which I hear a lot of people say are incredibly good and is going to be really good. I just personally love Nourish more. You can of course use Roar for increased damage, and of course you can use Terrify from Necros for armor stripping as well, and combined with her first ability, that is gonna be goddamn good. But nonetheless, Citrine, an amazing tank Warframe, incredibly good at decimating anything you come across and killing everything you come across, and can tank anything as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, do leave a like, a comment, and do subscribe for more. This has been your friendly neighborhood gaming weasel, and I'm over and out.